Yeah, and these are the lower bracket finals, correct?
Yes, this is going to be the lower bracket finals, constellation final. The winner is going to go to the grand final. The problem, I don't know how we're going to do it with the what they win. I think it's going to be the team that comes from the lower bracket is going to have to win two best of fives. And the one who came from the upper bracket is just going to have to win one. Yes, the final is going to be after this much match. So after this game, best of five series, I will actually up the quality, so it's even better for the last. And
Yeah.
also shout out to the Burning Crusade guys, because they smash me every time I'm there. But here we go, HARAG versus MMB.
All right,
Uh,
we're jumping right into the game, and we have this Warlock already putting as much dots out as he can. Octopus Paul is the Warlock on the Warrior-like Paladin team. And
yeah,
that's actually a big Shadow Fury. It gets a Fear out onto everybody.
and
You see what they're trying to hit, but
whoa,
Senior XX is taking a ton of damage from this Warrior and Warlock.
yeah.
Blade Storming the pet, actually. He decides to switch off the Warlock to hit the pet.
And there's a fear he's going to actually trinket that one to be able to get on the pet, but the pet seems to be surviving, and they switch onto Octopus. Actually, Octopus Paul gets stuck in a cyclone there for a second, so that's not going to do much.
Yeah, and here you can see Senior XX is taking a ton of damage with this Warrior just sitting on him. This Warrior is really just trying to prevent him from casting.
Yeah.
Now it looks like the Warrior switching to the pet, and Senior XX is also tunneling into the pet. And Baboon Man X, isn't that the Paladin from another one of the teams we saw earlier?
Yeah, he is from I told you, Hara. Oh, nice Shadow Fury onto the whole team of MMB, uh, but it's not going to be enough to actually gain a momentum. There's a death call onto Octopus Paw. He's got freeness, he's going to be able to run away swiftly if he wants to, but he's in the spot. There's a bash from the Druid, and a Cyclone coming in on top of the Paladin.
Yeah, Paladin's sitting in a Cyclone right now, trying to pick up his Warlock a little bit.
Yeah, but the Warlock saving heavy dice. There's a Shadow Fury dropping in down below 50% HP. There's a Hellstone, as well as the Fell Dom is going to give him that Fell Hunter, which is so crucial.
Yeah, and he does get the Fell Hunter back out. He did not get locked out, thank God. That's very good for him. And look at Senor XX. Senor XX is taking a lot of damage right now. This Warrior is sitting on him. Warrior Blade Storming on him when he's at 60%. He Shadow Furies, and it doesn't hit the Warrior because he's in a Blade Storm. Look at Octopus Paul. Octopus Paul is taking a ton of damage. He's all the way down to 50%, 40%. Picks back up a little bit. The Pally has to bubble to keep him up. And
But now Sage
now
is like, he was on top of Senior X. He actually managed to get a shot off on the Druid to be able to get to him. Still doing some damage. There's a Shadow Fury on top of both him and Baboon Man. But Baboon Man actually taking a little bit of damage himself now, going down to the Senior X, taking so much damage. He's going to be dropping down. And
wow.
MMB taking the first map. Really nice switch there. I didn't even see that coming.
Alright, and the Hunter is immediately starting off. Looks like he's just trying to hit this Warrior, maybe trying to get his buffs off of him with a Trank Shot, or maybe it was Arcane Shot that dispelled it back then. I can't remember, man. And yeah, he's just hitting this Warrior. Warrior's already got a board out, and is just trying to waddle his way over to this Warlock. Warrior's going to be taking a lot of damage right here. He's rooted, and he's only at 90%, but I mean, he's starting off on this Hunter.
Yeah,
He gets
wow. He actually takes a lot of damage there. I haven't seen Sage take 30% damage in one go for a while. But there's a nice Shadow Fury onto Octopus Ball off, followed by Cyclone on top of him. Um, and
Yeah, it
it's,
does look like they're trying to kill Octopus Paul's pet.
yeah.
And now we have the Warrior popping Recklessness. This is going to be huge. If he can get a Blade Storm on all three of
Oh.
them right now, which he does, it's a prime Blade Storm. And they don't take a ton, they don't dip too low, but they did take a ton of damage.
Yeah.
And the Warlock is already at 68%.
The Warlock did get a Death Call onto him. There's a charge on top of him as well. I don't know what the Warlock is going for. Yes, yeah. He gets caught in a fear. The Druid pops the Innovate on himself to be able to get the mana back up. He was at 14k. Druid always want to be at 100%. Actually, throwing out a Starfire onto the pet. They really want to go for that one right now.
Yeah,
Are they going to get it? No, there's the health funnel. Is it going to be enough? Actually, we're going to swap targets to see if that's...
I'm sure it will be. I mean, Health Funnel was such a good spell in Wrath of the Lich King. It's really
Yeah.
not that good anymore in Kata. And we do have the Warrior doing tons of damage to Senor XX. He's
Oh.
already at 70%, down to 55%.
And as the pet goes down full Octopus Paw, he starts taking huge amounts of damage now. There's the Fell Dom, and he's gonna pick his Fell Hunter up, but
Yeah,
he's
but
still
he's
slow.
at 50%. Oh man, that was some intense play. The Pally
Yeah.
has to bubble out of that trap here. And Octopus Paul does get spell locked. Good spell lock, good spell lock. Shadow Fury on everyone but the Paladin because he is in a bubble. And now Octopus Paul has to health funnel. I'm a little worried for the team with the Paladin actually right now because this Druid really stepped up his game. Earlier when the Warrior got a freedom, the Druid just decided, hey, now's the time to Cyclone. And that's
Yeah.
perfect time to Cyclone.
And there's the Shadow Fury coming down, dropping right on top of Octopus Paw. Actually a stun from the Paladin dropping down on Nether but it seems like no one actually has the ability to kill right now. They're just
Yeah,
feeling each other out.
Yeah, they're just, swapping blows, trading blows back and forth. But the one thing here is when you're doing this, you have to look at the mana. And right now, the Paladin's mana is much better off than the Druid's is, and I think the Druid team needs to realize that, and they really need to try and,
Yeah.
burst someone down. Senor XX is taking a lot of damage right now. He's all the way down to 60%.
And there's a Blade Storm coming in, but he got teleported, so he's going to be able to get away. But the pet, although, is in a really tough situation. But
Yeah,
there's the health
it's
funnel.
annoying.
Yeah.
And I think he even tried to devour the pet there just to, pick a little more health up because when you devour, you do get healed. And the pet does go down. So now Senor XX is going to be taking a lot of damage. Looks like he's trying to...
Yeah.
Oh, no, he does get the pet out. I don't think he has Soul Link yet. Now he has Soul Link.
Yeah.
But he was trying to interrupt that Feldom right there. And now the Paladin is in another trap. Are they going to be able to capitalize on this? I'm not sure.
I think there was more of a defensive somehow. I don't know why they did on that. But now Glean is taking a huge amount of damage. He's also disarmed. But yeah, they're not going to be able to capitalize on that either. It's just going back and forth right now. I'd say the...
Octopus Paul's taking a ton of damage because I believe both of his pets are dead. Yeah, he is trying to summon another Fell Hunter. He's all the way at 56%. Baboon Man is trying to pick him up, but the Warlock is in a Cyclone right now, and Baboon Man is getting...
Oh, Octopus Paul taking huge amounts of damage, down to 30%, death coiling. There's a badge on top of him, going down to 20%, and a Bob going on top of him, but is it going to be enough? It does seem like it is caught in a Cyclone as well.
Yeah, that was some intense, and there's a death curl onto the Paladin. I don't think he's going to be able to live through this, man. He's been in the CC chain. That Paladin has, yep. Octopus Paul does go down.
But here we go, game number 3 between HARAG and MMB.
Alright, so the Warlock's just trying to get as much damage as he can out right now. Octopus Paul, I mean, he's just trying to dot everything, because the other Warlock is staying back because he's Destro, he can't exactly pre-dot stuff. You really want that Warlock in there for the burst, but if he charges in, the Warrior's just going to charge in on him.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do right now is delay that as long as possible by using as much mana on the opposing team's Druid, because of Affliction Warlock versus a Hunter, I mean, the team with the Warlock is going to use a lot more mana. And now the Warrior is charging in there finally.
Yeah, now Zekan is also dropping a little bit low. He's caught in a Cyclone now there. And there's a spell onto Octopus Paul. He's in a little bit of a bad position.
Yeah, and there's a nice trap on the Gaio Mayo. Really nice job by Glean. Zage did try to
intervene.
Yeah, to intervene to it, but he didn't get there in time. And now he's playing with the sword and board on, and he's sitting on the Warlock, so he's trying to take as little damage as possible.
Yeah, and there's a Death Call on top of the Warrior, and a Shadow Fury on both the Druid and the Warlock, and now the Senior X is taking a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, here comes some big damage on the Senior X, I believe. I mean, the Warrior is... the Warrior swaps to the pet. I wonder if he's going to be able to kill it. He's really trying to tunnel as much damage into it as he can. Even does a nice focus charge onto the Druid. That was really well played. But both DPSers did get caught in that Shadow Fury, and now... Here's a big issue, is that Senor XX is spending all his time health funneling as a Destro Warlock.
Yeah.
It's not that bad as an Affliction Warlock because you have dots taking as your health funneling, but as a Destro Warlock, you're really not doing anything if you're health funneling. And now they are trying to tunnel damage right now into the opposing Warlock's pet, the WLD, and there's a nice trappy by Octopus Paul. Um,
And now Senior X is going to be dropping a little bit damage. There was a charge from Sage and a Shadow Fury on both the Warlock and the Druid of MMB. But Senior X taking so much damage, down to 60% HP. Tries to get an Immolate off, he's going to be able to get it. But there's a Spelllock onto him, and there's a Blade Storm. Health Stone is being popped, but oh, and a Death Call right on top of him from Octopus Paw. There's the teleport.
yeah, that was a ton of damage right there, all because he spell-locked that Chaos Bolt. The Warrior knew he wasn't going to be able to pour it away, so he decided to Blade Storm. That was really great play, really top-level thinking right there.
Absolutely. Glee now taking a little bit of damage himself. Doesn't disengage, going to be able to get away. He's still below 60% HP. Also have Viper, aspect of Viper up, so he's not going to be able to put out as much damage as he'd like. There's the aspect of Dragonheart coming in, taking Sekhan down to 60% HP. Block coming up, but there's Cyclone on top of him as well.
Yeah, and this Warlock Senior XX is, he's still having to health funnel his pet, and that, again, he's Destro. That's not very effective. He'd be much better doing that if he was Affliction, but again, the Hunter Lock Druid team is really reliant on that burst. And Glean is taking a ton of damage right now, all the way down to 50%. See if Zage is able to land a kill on him. He does intercept to him. He's at 34%. He disarms him so that way he can't deterrence. And now he's caught in an entrapment. That was a good decision to entrap him there.
Yeah. And NetherX actually stomped.
Yeah, Senior XX is low on mana, low on health. He's going to have to life tap, and he might make the same mistake as last time where he ends up basically getting himself killed, but the Warrior does get put into a Cyclone. Warlock does get away, and now the Warlock is health funneling again.
Yeah, he's going to be health funneling his pet. He really need that pet right now. I do think he's got Feldom up, but you don't want to waste it if you don't need it, so to speak.
Yeah, you want to conserve your pets because and the Hunter pet actually dies there. That's really good.
Yeah, because that's going to allow Zekhan to move even more freely. He's not going to have to worry about that webbing action going on.
Yeah, or I'm not sure if it's the same way in Wrath of the Lich King, but in Cataclysm, if you have your pet out, you're able, you get freedom and you can't be.
Monster's Call, yeah.
Yeah, and another nice trap eat by Octopus Paul. Everyone tried to eat that trap aside from Balance right there. I mean, Zage even intervened back. And there's a lot of damage onto the Warlock pet for Octopus Paul, and he decides to Feldom one out. He tried to Heart Summon one, but they start hitting.
Nice fail on the whole HARAG team right there. And now Glean is taking a bit of damage. Senior X caught in a death coil. There's the Blade Storm coming in, and I think he's too far away for the teleport, and this is going to be so much damage.
On top of him as he's Blade Storming, that was not the right move. And now, as such, they are all low on health. Senior XX is still taking a ton of damage. He gets charged, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get picked back up, but there is a disarm onto the Warrior. So I think he's fine for now. But he just ported onto the opposite side of the map from his Druid. But the Hunter is also taking tons of damage. He has to deterrence. Right now, NetherX is in the Netherlands, I guess you could say, in relation to his team. His entire team is low on health, and he is at 50% in the middle of the arena. They could just capitalize and hit whatever they can. Zage is deciding to NetherX, it seems. Yeah, they're switching hard to NetherX because he's in the middle of the arena. He's at 4%, 2% dead.
Yeah, he's going to be going down. And I mean, really nice play there by MMB. They had everybody low. Glean was down at 30%. NetherX was down at 30%. Only the Warlock was up there at 70-60%. So MMB taking game number 3 convincingly right there. Yeah.
All right. And the Hunter is starting off just hitting this Warrior, and the Warrior looks like he's just going to charge in this game. He doesn't want to pussyfoot around this game.
No, he's like, yeah, I'm a warrior. I'm like recklessness. I'm reckless. I'm just going to go right in and kill something as fast as humanly possible.
He's ready for battle, man.
Yeah, he got that big axe going, that huge ass armor.
All right, and a really nice in-team shout out right there at the beginning of the match. That's pretty huge because. Oh, and there's Recklessness. I'll get back to that in a second. He just popped Recklessness. He's doing as much damage as he can onto this Warlock.
Wow.
He has him at 50%, 60%. He is stuck in the roots right now, but I think he escape artist out of it. Yeah, he did escape artist out of it, and now he charges back, gets Shadow Fury. Death Call onto the Warlock right now.
Oh, and a Blade Storm. Is he going to be able to actually... No, that's the teleport from Senior X. I thought he was going to be able to get a full teleport, a full Blade Storm for free.
I really feel like they need to banish the pet if they're going to pop Recklessness and stuff like that. And actually, both pets are just sitting there hitting each other right now. It's kind of funny to watch.
Zekhan just went right in Senior X's back where there was a trap laying. It's a nice positioning by the trap from Glean. But still, Senior X taking so much damage right now. There's a spell on top of him as well. He's not going to be able to teleport. There's an Immolate coming out of him. And a Death Call on top of Octopus Paw. And Shadow Fury on Zekhan. That's going to allow him to get away safely.
Yeah, but like I was saying there before the recklessness was popped, was when you Intim Shout like that at the beginning of a match, and you pop all those cooldowns, like all your trinkets proc and all your cooldowns proc. So if you Intim Shout, that druid isn't going to have those pre-hots rolling anymore, and you're going to be able to get a ton of damage out. And these teams know that, and they're really capitalizing on it. And there's the Warrior's stuck in another entrapment, and Glean is just sitting back and tunneling damage into whatever he can. He's hitting the Warrior right now, but the Warrior isn't taking nearly as much damage as he'd hoped for.
No, but he's just tunnel visioning this Warlock right now, and of course it's the right decision. There's the teleport from him as well. Oh, and a fear, actually, on both Netherrax and Senior X from Octopus Paul here. Are they going to capitalize? Yeah, there's the charge coming in from the Warrior down on top of Senior X, dropping it down to 70%. Glean...
There's the Blade Storm. He doesn't have a port up yet because he did just use it. So Senior XX is taking a ton of damage, all the way down to 29%, 50%. He's trying to get healed back up. There was a Nature Swiftness out onto him. The Druid did get Intercept Charge, and now the Druid's in another Cyclone. This endless CC. This is not looking good for the Hunter Luck Druid right now.
Yeah. Senior X actually finally got the teleport back up, but now Sage seems to be going for the Druid. Or not. I mean, he can go for whatever he wants. And there's the Frost Trap from the DK, from the Hunter. But there's another charge on top of the Warlock. I mean, the Warrior just wants to keep hitting the Warlock as much as he can.
Yeah, the Warlock will take the most damage on the team.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for a Warlock to get away from a Warrior. I mean, if the Warrior tries to hit the Druid just travel forms. If the Warrior tries to hit the Hunter, the Hunter just disengages.
Yeah.
And Senior XX is actually life tapping at a much higher percent of health, so good for him. He clearly was listening to the stream.
Yeah, definitely. Senior X now doing a nice Shadow Fury on both Velsis and Octopus Paw. There's the charge coming in from Sage onto Senior X. There's a Death Call onto the Druid. Octopus Paw now taking a little bit of damage. Oh, Senior X gets a Death Call from Octopus Paw as well.
And he Blade Storms to get out of the root, and he's trying to hit anything he can, really. He ends up eating the trap, too. I think he might have canceled his Blade Storm on accident there. And now he's back to hitting the Warlock. Both teams are playing this game very defensively compared to how they were the other games, which is why the games were ending so quickly. But
yeah,
both teams are now very nervous. They know one team is one win away, I believe, from the finals, the grand finals. And the other team is one loss away from getting knocked out, obviously.
Yeah. And Senior X, man, his Shadow Furies has been hitting all teammates almost the whole game for from HARAG.
Yeah, this guy is definitely a destruction master. That guy knows exactly when to Shadow Fury. It's always at good times. He's very good at peeling with it. He's very good at hitting everybody with it.
Yeah, like he sees the situation.
The WLD Warlock is dipping kind of low on health, and he had to try to hardcast summon a Fell Hunter there. He's all the way at 60% or 30%.
Oh, there's a Shadow Fury, and it's that. Wow, that damage was sick. That's gonna pick the game up to 2-2, and we're actually gonna be going into game number 5. Wow. All right, so going into game number 5, the final game of the Constellation finals here. Now the question is, who's going to be able to move forward in this tournament to compete for that €1,500 prize? We just have to wait and see.
You know, if I had to guess, I really think the WLD is going to pull out on top.
Yeah, they do seem to have their momentum. But like with the last time, if they get a really good situation from the Hunter team, they're going to be able to make a lot of things happen.
Yeah. And this map especially, it's actually going to be a lot harder to hit the Warlock, so I'm not quite sure. And there's a good trap eat by Zage. And you can see Gale Mayo just trying to pick everybody back up. And Glean is tunneling into that Fell Hunter. I think he needs to position that Fell Hunter in a spot that it can't just be hit over and over. Like right now, it's just sitting in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, there's a Blaze Storm right on top of Senior X right there, and he's actually gonna drop down, and the Warrior falls for the trap. I think he's just gonna TP up now, or maybe not.
He could TP up, but his druid's down below now too. So if this warrior has escape artist ready, they can always just switch to him. And Glean is taking tons of damage. Glean is already dipping at 35%, and then gets picked back up, and now he's down at 50%. And he gets put in a fear, and it's actually not a bad idea to fear your main target if you're playing with a warrior, because if you fear them, they can't dodge while they're in a fear. So
Yeah.
props to Octopus Paul for really knowing this game inside and out. And Glean again is tunneling into this pet, and I don't like the positioning that this pet is putting this warlock is putting his pet. He really needs to put it out of line of sight. Make sure that if Glean wants to hit it, he's got to go out of his way. Maybe put dots on him and then let him take down as he's just tunneling into a pet. But Senior XX is taking a lot of damage right now.
Yeah,
he's all the way down to 50%, but he gets a nice Shadow Fury on both DPSers.
Yeah, he gets. I was about to say that he gets a nice Shadow Fury, but still the Warrior is right on top of him with retaliation as well. But there's the teleport. He's gonna be able to get away. And Netherix actually caught in a fear right here. Also, Velsa seems to be caught in a trap once again. And Netherix now taking a little bit of damage. I don't know from what. There's the Warrior on top of him, that's why he's taking so much damage. Once again, a Shadow Fury onto Octopus Paw. Now Glean is caught in a Cyclone. Netherix is actually getting spell locked. Could he capitulate on this? Glean once again actually getting a Cyclone on top of him. And now Senior X in a really bad position. Sekon is going to Blade Storm.
And there's tons of damage going out onto this Hunter Lock Druid team. But this Druid is such an outstanding player. He's picking everybody back up. Everybody was low, and now everybody's getting higher.
Yeah.
And now this Warlock ports away. He does get feared immediately after, but that was very quick Devour. That guy's reaction's like a cat or something.
Yeah, now Glean is maybe they can like turn around when they drop. Now Death Skull onto Glean. He's dropping down below 20%. Oh, and there's finally the deterrence when he's at 20%. That's gonna actually save him right there with the disengage as well. His Druid is gonna be able to pick him up, but he was in big trouble right there.
That was incredibly close. He was at 20%, and then he got death coiled, and then he managed to deter us at 9%. I really thought he was going to die to dots in that, but then he also disengaged off the bridge, which put him in line of sight. Now, Senior XX is taking a ton of damage.
Yeah, he didn't have the pet right there, so he had to fell dom and summon it. But if he hadn't done that, I think he might have just gotten killed right on the spot.
Yeah, definitely. And now he's trying to get fears on Velsis, but oh, that was a beautiful Shadow Meld. He Shadow Melded his fear. That was really clutch play, really using racials, and that's something you see a lot of these top players doing, is knowing when to use their racials. There's a game earlier that ended because of a war stomp, and I'm very, very proud of these players.
Like you're racing, like, oh man, it's so nice seeing them growing up.
Good job, son.
Sup, son? In the meantime, though, we have a game going on. Well, we're nostalgically thinking back when they were in vanilla, roaming around the battlegrounds. There's a Blade Storm coming in from Zekon on top of Senior X, and he's gonna have to life tap actually to get enough mana to teleport.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's incredible how well this Zekon warrior is playing. And actually, I think Senior XX might die up here because his Druid is out of line of sight. He can't get healed up to full. He's at 23%. Druids do have to do ramp up healing. And now it looks like, did he just spell reflect the Cyclone? Maybe that was just a casted Cyclone. But now Zage is trying to finish off this Warlock. Zage is really good at paying attention to everything going on right now. Like you said, he had a life tap to get enough mana to port. I think Zage saw that, so he decided to Blade Storm, and then that means, another life tap. That's more damage.
Yeah.
With the right number of crits, he could have died right there. But now Zage is switching to this Druid. The Druid is already at 57%. Decides to Swiftman himself and Barkskin. So now that means Zage is going to switch off, hit whatever he can. He's, wow, this guy's just controlling the whole battlefield. He's switching to the Hunter, fearing him, whipping out a sword board.
It's like he's just charging, intercepting, intervening all over the place and knows exactly when to do it. But in the meantime, Netherix now taking a huge amount of damage. There's the root on top of Zage. But Senior X also getting a death kill on Octopus Paul, who's trying to summon a fell onto. Now he's actually trying to do as much damage as he can to Paul. But is it going to be enough now? There's the spell coming out of Octopus Paul.
Yeah, and Octopus Paul does have a pet right now, but I feel like when his pet dies, I do think he is done for. If he can't keep his pets alive, um, he's pretty much going to get destroyed by this heavy burst team. Like, there's no way you can heal through Destrolock and Hunter damage as a druid when you don't have Soul Link up.
Yeah, now Senior X is taking a little bit of damage once again. He's
Yeah,
really
that's
low.
a
There's a
Druid Fear on another X. Senior X is taking a ton of damage, gets Death Coiled. Let's see, he's going to get charged out of it. Looks like he resisted the charge. He just has the Shadow Fury. Really good peel right there, but he's also again. And now he's life tapping a ton. That's kind of scary considering all the damage he was taking.
yeah, but
He really
Zakon.
needs to keep on top of those life taps.
Yeah, but Sage was actually caught in a frost trap right there. So I think he's like, all right, he's caught in a frost trap. I have like 2 seconds to life tap. Hopefully, I'll not be enough. But there's the Blaze Storm coming in from Sage right on top of him, and also a teleport because I think it must have gone out.
Yeah, it must have expired or something, but he just ate that full Blaze Storm because he didn't pay attention to that timer. And now Zage is taking a ton of damage. He's at 55%, but it looks like Velsis is going to be able to pick him up just fine. Yeah, Senior XX is just trying to do as much damage as he can. He actually gets an Immolate reflected back onto him right there. And now he's having to heal his pet. Looking at what Zage is doing right now, Zage is hitting this Hunter. Hunter's already down to 67%, and this Druid is only at 7,400 mana. I think he also just innervated. Yeah, he definitely just innervated because that I said that he picked up to 8,100.
Yeah.
He misses the intervene on the trap, but it does get devoured off instantly.
Yeah, and Sage is now taking a huge amount of damage. There's a stun coming in from another X, and a Cyclone as well afterwards. Tried to deny the heals from Gaio Mayo. But it seems like he's still trying to go for center. There's this Shadow Fury going on Zakon. He's dropping below 50%. I don't know if it's the right choice to go on him, though. But there's a charge onto Glean to be able to get away a little bit.
Now he's hitting this Warlock again. Zakon is really just hitting whatever he thinks is a good target. And I trust this guy to pick the good target because look at Senior XX. He's all the way down to 50%. He's going to be taking a ton of damage. He's Shadow Furies, but he only gets the Warlock with that one.
And also tried to Death Curl onto Zage to be able to get those little extra health points.
Yeah, and look at him. He's at 40%, and Zage is now... Oh, I feel really bad for him because here's the Blade Storm, and yeah, he does port away. That was a good port. The pet takes about half of a Blade Storm, which is not an awful lot, but now the pet does die, but he manages to get another one without having to...
Yeah, really nice play by Senior X right there.
But look at Glean's health. Glean is all the way down to 75%, and I don't think he has enough hots on him to feel safe. And now we're switching back to Senior XX, who I know doesn't have enough hots, and he already has used his port. It's probably coming up within the next 5 seconds or so, and they're switching to him, and he's taking a ton of damage. Zakon is being picked up great.
Yeah, Zakon gets a lot of nice heals from Velsis right there. But as you saw, I mean, he was going on to Glean, and as soon as Glean disengaged away, he was like, alright, I got Senior X right on here. I'm going to swap for him. But now Sage is the one in the danger zone right now. He was down to 40% right there. There's a silencing shot into a scatter from Gaio Mayo, and Sage is going to be trying to pick that up. He does manage to do it somehow. I don't know what happened right there with the trap.
Yeah, he did get it, and now he's tunneling into the pet of Senior XX, but it looks like it's stuck in the air. Maybe he thinks he can't hit it, but he definitely can't. Now he's stuck in a root. He's all the way down to 40%. He's taking a ton of damage right here. Silencing shot onto Gaio Mayo, aka Velsis, and Zakon is 16%, has the shield wall, 15%, 17%, just trying to line aside everything, trying to get picked back up by Velsis. There's even an NS coming out, and he's still down at 48%. He misses the trap. Did it get... I think he decided to trinket it, even though there was a...
Yeah, he trinketed that. Yeah, he trinketed it.
Too, and
yeah.
That's unfortunate overlap of cooldowns, but...
Well, the Warriors picked up again, and now he's going to be focusing Senior X one more time. Senior X, I think... I don't know if he just tried to trap. Oh, there's a Blaze Storm. He's going to be able to put away. It doesn't seem like he doesn't have mana for it. There's a life tap, actually. Down to 30%, 20% right now. And he could go down. Wow. And he's going to be going down, and MMB is going to go to the grand final, facing off against... Garlic Unius.